I want to sit at the table. I want to be one of those greats for SC and for college football. I want to be the best, not one of the best. I want to be the best.
Gosh, that's a great question. I don't know if I've ever been asked that. Like, what is the it factor?
The It Factory is back for season 2. Last season, we explored what the It Factory is, who has it, and how they got it. This season, we still seek to answer the same questions, but with a new cast of characters. We take the helmet off some of the new faces in the Conference of Champions, and some familiar faces as well. Players, coaches, and experts will explore what it is that sets them up for success on Saturdays. I'm Yogi Roth, and welcome back to the It Factory. All right, welcome back. It is season 2 of the It Factory. I'm your host, Yogi Roth. We are presented by Zayo, and we are on the road. We do that a couple times in this episode. Today, with Caleb Williams, we're in the Pete Carroll veranda.
We are.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so Pete Carroll.
Yeah.
When I walked in here, I went back to memory lane, man. Like I coached on his staff for 4 years, been around him a bunch. I'm curious, your first time hearing about his name. What do you think when you sit out here, you see his face as you walk around the facility?
So growing up, I became a SC fan when I was probably around 10, 11 years old. And so he wasn't that big for me. I actually started to like Pete Carroll more when he was in the NFL, coaching Russ and all those players and Legion of Boom and all of that. So he wasn't that huge for me, but I could see why SC was booming when he was here.
Totally. So I found this photo that I'm sure you've seen a million times.
You're talking about me in front of the...
Yeah, with you next to Pete and Liner.
Yeah. That was around like when I was 10, 11, so 7th grade, 8th grade, I think.
And what was the reason for coming out? Was it just like you're doing a tour, and were you taking like an official visit at 10 years old?
It was coming out trying to see colleges because it was, my dream is to go to high school, do well there, go to college, do well, go to NFL and do well. And so SC was one of the better schools, and they were they weren't, I don't think back then they were number one, but they were still one of the little better schools. And my dad also told me, I think I've told this story a couple times, he told me, I made a list of schools, and it was during, I think, the national championship time, and my dad told me, I came back to him with Alabama after he told me, after I made my first list, and then and they were just winning at that point. That's why I chose. And my dad told me, go put another school on there. You can't have Alabama. I ended up making another list, and it was mainly West Coast schools. I know it was USC, Stanford was on there, and I think UCLA was on there also. So I don't know. When I came out here, when I was that age, I really enjoyed it. The weather, obviously, is always great. And then I don't know what about this place. I don't know why I put them on my list, to be honest, at that age. But it's kind of funny how I'm here now. So
it's amazing, man.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I came to this campus. It was Heritage Hall. That was where the old football office was. And I was working in recruiting. That was my first job. Yeah. And I came in, I had like slacks on, like a decent, like a nice button-down shirt.
Everybody's casual.
Right. And Mark Jackson, who used to be here, is now the AD at Villanova, pulls me into his office and he's like, "Hey,
don't do that again.
Nah, you're good. You can wear shorts." Yeah. And I made it a rule for like 2 straight years I never wore a pair of pants.
Yeah.
I'm like 22.
Yeah.
But I was like, dude, I'm in California. This place is amazing. So you got to see that obviously at a young age. But now that you're here, you say that list had West Coast schools on it. What do you think about vibes with West Coast, if you had to describe that?
Very laid back, very chill, very casual. I'm being back home. Everything's more dressed up and presidential because you're probably 20 minutes if you live in Maryland, Virginia, from the White House or Capitol, and then being in DC, I was probably 7 blocks from the Capitol. And so everything's all dressed up, presidential. Everybody walks around in suits and things like that. So coming out here, I used to go to restaurants, and like when I first got here, I used to go to restaurants, I used to dress up a little bit too much. And now I wear some
Talent.
shorts, some sweat shorts that I've cut up. I wear my my Birkenstocks with no socks or anything like that, and freaking probably a tank top and walk into a so-called high-end restaurant. So no, that's really awesome out here. I loved it. Dream come true, I guess you could say, and everything's been awesome.
I love that. First time you walked into the Collie, when and what do you recall?
First time I actually went into the Collie was my official visit here.
Was it nighttime? Like paint the picture.
No, it was midday, so the sun was starting to go down, and it was right before we actually were going to go to dinner. So the sun was, close to going down, and it was just shining right over the stadium, right over the top of the edge of the stadium, and so it was really pretty. And it was like, it's something I do all the time is like visualize like people being in the stadium. Like when I run out from the tunnel, I normally turn around and kind of visualize everybody being in there. And I do it on game days where I just kind of, see everybody in there, get the vibe, get the feeling of the stadium. And so we were actually up top on the upper deck. And so we had food, we had games up there, and a good little bit. When I first got there is that I walked and I leaned over the edge of the top area up there, and it was surreal. It was an awesome feeling, kind of looking over. It looks bigger, and it's a big old bowl that I can't wait to fill.
It's amazing. I ask you that. Have you ever heard of the story, the tug of war story on the 50?
No.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little story here. So when Coach Carroll here on the veranda, he gets the head job, his first workout, he's like, let's just make it a workout the players never forget, as hard as it's ever been. So they do that. Workout ends, and he says, all right, tonight, 10 o'clock, meet me on the 50. He didn't know what he was going to do, but he was like, it sounded and felt right in the moment. Yeah. He walks across the street. Across the street, there used to be a firehouse. I don't know if it's still here on campus. And he walked over and he said, do you have a rope? And he gets a rope, and he's out there at 9:30. Nobody's there. Then around 9:50, you start hearing the clack in the cleats, some guys with backpacks from class, and all of a sudden the whole team's on the 50. And he goes, Carson Palmer, give me your best 11 on offense. Troy Polamalu, give me your best 11 on defense. And he lays out this tug of war, and they go back and forth and back and forth. And as we know as offensive guys, the defense ended up cheating, added a couple extra guys. Yeah. Defense ends up winning. Yeah. Regardless of that, Pete pulls the team together and he says, what did we learn? The moral of the story is that if we're pulling in opposite directions, we have no chance. So he asked the whole team to get back-to-back at night, which you've been at the Collie since then, with just that beautiful kind of, not all the lights on, just enough lights on to make it majestic. And he said, get back-to-back, shoulder to shoulder. He goes, if we stay this tight, no matter who comes over these Coliseum walls, be it Notre Dame, UCLA, Rice, whomever, nothing will tear us apart. So if you're in, I want you to come by my office and say the two words, I'm in. Don't tell me right now, but tell me tomorrow, tell me the next day. And guys started dropping notes in his office, would come up and say it to him before the practice a couple days later, whatever it is. And that became the phrase of, you would literally tap in Howard Jones Field. There was a sign that said, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in. And I thought that moment, which we would replicate on every official visit, of saying, imagine being here and feeling that tight, is when something special can happen.
Coming up on the It Factory.
So what would you tell, my 7-year-old's name is Zane.
Zane?
Yeah, he got bullied because he got cool hair. He's got long hair. I want to hear your advice, and I'll tell you what I ended up sharing with him. I share that story with you, one, because I think it's cool, but two, I feel like the whole world's trying to define your team, right? And often you. And I wonder, how do you define it? And what's it like being defined often?
Something that we are focusing on is not focus on the outside world, not allowing anyone to define us. We are focusing on making sure that we figure out who we are, defining ourselves, making sure that we focus on what we have right now, which is an awesome team, an awesome group of guys, focus on winning the moments. And we practice last night was awesome. We were under the lights in the Collie and talking to teammates in the locker room. On the field we were talking trash. As soon as the whistle ended at the end, we were all dapping each other up, hugging. We go to the locker room, we're laughing, joking. No matter how bad your practice was, you still have your brothers with you.
Yeah.
Because like you said in that story, that we're all together, we're all in, and we all want and have this goal in mind. But we can't reach those goals and get to those things if we aren't all in, if we aren't all together, if we aren't trying to win the moments that we have right now. And something we have dreams. We have big dreams right now, not next year or the year after, anything like that. We have them right now, and we're changing habits. We're not changing our dreams.
Yeah. Now obviously that's a great perspective to have. I felt like at SC, I learned this when I was here, that when you come to SC as a quarterback, you become a household name.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Miller Moss is a household name. Mo Hassan is a household name. Everybody knows you guys. But when you start, you become a Heisman candidate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just different than a lot of places around the country. The quarterback vibe here, now that you're in it, how do you describe it when you see the Collie and you see 3 and 11 up there, and some of those, immaculate quarterbacks that have played here?
Speaking on SC wise, I want to sit at the table. To make it the easiest way possible to say that is that I want to sit at the table. I want to be one of those greats for SC and for college football. I want to be the best, not one of the best. I want to be the best. So that's what I'm working towards in my profession, which is playing quarterback. And the thing is, I can't do it without those other 10 guys. And so that's what I'm focused on. Make sure that we're all executing. We all have juice, energy, and ready for what's to come.
That's cool, man. So you referenced this list of schools. You were like 10.
Yeah.
And your dad are working on it. What was the young you like? I got a 7-year-old. We need to make a college list like tonight.
Yeah, I played ball just for fun for a while, and it's still fun to me because I wouldn't be playing if it wasn't. It's become more fun actually. But I made a decision at 10 years old after the 6th grade FBU when we lost to Georgia, and made that decision for some reason. And I know the reason, but I made it for a reason. And I told my dad we lost, and I hate losing, and I was bawling. I was absolutely bawling. And I told my dad that I don't want to be or be in this position or feel this like moment again. And so I told him I wanted to switch to quarterback. And I want to be.
Where were you? Like in the car? Driving home?
Where were we? We were going back to the hotel because we were in San Antonio. And so on the way back, and I'm crying. My mom wants to, try and be a mother.
Yeah.
And my dad says, leave him alone, let him get it all out. And after that, I told my dad, like I said, I want to play quarterback. And then after that, he asked me my sure. After I said I want to be the greatest, be the best, he asked me my sure. And then after that, I said yeah, and he made a plan for sleep, workouts, food, all of that.
How old are you?
I was 10.
You're 10.
Yeah, and so I would, after we made that decision, days were hard. They were really hard, especially being that young and not really knowing what's really going on at that age. And so I ended up starting to work out at 5:30 a.m. We called it Breakfast Club. And then after school, that was before school, after school. And after that, I can remember every breakfast that I had because it was always the same.
What was it?
It was eggs with ham inside, and I always had an insure with my my vitamin. And so
that's amazing, man.
Yeah, and then after that, we went to school. Went to school for the whole day. Did all my homework and things like that. And then at 6:30, we work out. Not me and my dad, but my trainer, Coach Mark. And so And then I'd find ways to get throwing in there, throwing sessions, and just working hard, finding ways to be the best and win. And still doing that now.
Wow. So thank you. You contributed to the book that I wrote, 5-Star
Yeah.
QB, and a lot of guys go down a path like that when they're
Yeah.
young. I've learned in the research of the book, but a lot of them lost the joy of the craft.
Yeah.
Because of that. How
Yeah.
did you maintain it? How do you maintain it now?
I play this game to win championships. I don't play for self-accolades or anything like that. So I won one championship in high school. And that
The Hail Mary game?
The Hail Mary game.
Dude,
Yeah.
that was awesome.
I won one championship in high school. I wanted to win every year. I always said big dreams, big goals. And just because I reach them doesn't mean that, I'm not on the path to reach all my other goals. And so won one championship, and that feeling is, I honestly don't know how to describe it. But being able to do this with a group of guys and do something with a group of guys that you're so close with, so tight with, is one of the best feelings, that you get to go out on game day and you get to impose your will on somebody. You get to go win a game, go win multiple games, and try and go win championships and national championships and big games. You work this hard to have those moments, and not only have the moments, but surpass them and do well in them. And so I honestly couldn't tell. I can't speak on them, but I didn't work this hard. At 10 years old, I could have been out playing video games the whole night, or staying up late or anything like that. I go to sleep, I wake up, I work out, and I get up and do it again. And so
was that the joy for you of doing it again? Like, was that where you found
it was tough.
Fun?
It was tough, but like, I did it for a purpose. When I was younger, I didn't want to be in that position anymore. I didn't want this and that. And then I did it for a full year, and then I went back to football, obviously, year-round football and things like that. I went back to football, practice and everything, and it just showed constant progress, constant progression, and just, all them workouts, all of the studying, anything like that, going to camps and just kind of figuring out myself as a player. When you go back out there on game day and you've done all that work, and you just, like, it feels good when the work, you can see the work yourself, because in the moment you can't see it.
Yeah.
It hurts, it's painful, it's all of the above. And so when you go out there on game day and you're just better than people, or you're doing things and making people miss and scoring or drop back and throwing touchdowns, or your teammates are doing it with you, it's awesome. So I found the joy of that when I was working out, and then when I went to game days, it became kind of addicting. And so I'm still here, and this is actually probably my most exciting year for me inside. And I really can't wait.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's going to be profound to how you found joy within the work.
Yeah.
Like, the work can be deemed work.
Yeah.
Right? Or the work can be, hey man, like, and when it's hard, that can be fun.
Yeah.
Because you find the reward on the other side. What was it like for you as a kid? Because you create this foundation, Caleb Cares, for anti-bullying. I used you last night. My kid got bullied in his summer camp.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let me take you about this guy. I'm gonna tell you about this guy I'm gonna interview.
Mm-hmm.
So were you bullied? Like, what was the?
No, I wasn't bullied. I've had friends that we joke around with ever since I was younger. But last year I was 19, and I was painting my nails and going on game days and showing it off. I was doing it a year before that too, and posting with it or anything like that. And so actually, not as a kid, more or less when I got older, that people tried to say things about me or bully me and anything like that.
Of course,
so,
college football, Twitter, light you up in a heartbeat.
Twitter, Instagram, all of that. So they try and light me up over my nails and things like that. A bunch of
when
other
did you
stuff.
start Caleb Cares? Was it because of that, or was this something you thought about?
I started Caleb Cares. I tried to start it last year, but there was so much so much going on last year.
Yeah.
That it was tough to get a lot going. And so I started it officially like this year. And so I've been working hard, trying to get it going. And I started it for the simple fact of the underdog feeling of kids. I was always a kid to, if my friends were ever getting bullied, I was always there to step in and be there for them. So I wasn't necessarily the kid getting bullied, but you could always see it. And even if my friends were doing something, something wrong, I say, like, come on, let's be real here. Let's not judge anybody over anything like that. Let's not push up on them. You don't really know what's going on or how they're feeling. So it's more of the underdog feeling, trying to make sure that those people have a voice that they can either listen to or look up to or anything like that.
So what would you tell, like, my 7-year-old's name is Zane.
Zane?
Yeah, he got cool hair. He's got long hair.
What would I tell?
Yeah, he's got sweet hair, like surfer bro hair. And
Yeah,
they were calling him a girl.
That's fine.
He was unhappy.
He was unhappy?
No. I want to hear your advice, and I'll tell you what I ended up sharing with him.
Let's see. What would I tell him? Okay. So, Zane, right?
Yep.
Zane, for me, your hair is my nails. People think it's a female trait or something that ladies do or anything like that. I enjoy it. I love my hair. So love your hair. If it's what you like, don't worry about what other people have to say, do anything about it. Just be yourself and enjoy.
That's good. It's probably better than what I said. I said it when he says hi to him today. I said, go say hi and say, hey, man, I want you to have a great day today.
Yeah.
And if he makes fun of you, say, hey, man, why are you so angry? And then just walk away.
Just walk away.
Just walk away.
That's a good one, too.
I don't know.
That's
But you need to have like a camp, like a youth camp. We'll send a bunch of kids there.
Sweet.
I had lunch yesterday with
Yep.
a guy named George Raveling.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the Hall of Fame, NBA Hall of Fame. He's a legend in this league. He's a legend in sports. He's 85.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought up an amazing topic, and I was taking notes in our lunch, and I was thinking about you in this conversation. And he talked about leadership. And he goes, Yogi, what do you think a courageous leader looks like today? And I was like, that's a great question, right? Because leader gets tossed around all the time. Quarterbacks, I think, and I write about it in the book, of like, just because you're the QB doesn't mean you know how to lead. Like, you have to be taught these traits. Some people have it innately, but fundamentally it's not like just a natural gift, I don't think, for everybody. But he talked about courageous leadership. I'm curious for you, like, what do you think that is? How would you define it? Because you're dubbed that leader, right, on the team.
So like you said, I have an awesome father and mother that has taught me a lot, and they're still teaching me a lot. And so my dad, he's a leader.
Yeah.
And not in sense of leading me, but he has a lot of people that he has to lead and anything like that. So I've always been around my dad, so I've kind of grown into it. And my dad used to always tell me, you're a natural leader, you're all this. And I would always, when I was younger, I would always kind of push that away, just for a simple fact. I wanted to focus on me. I wanted to focus on, not being in control, not necessarily everybody looking at me, not everybody being in control of me. And then at one point, it just clicked, and I just said, you know what? Why am I resisting what, like my dad's always been telling me? And so, after a while, I stopped resisting it, and I ended up just accepting what it was. And then from there, I just started, learning how to do so, and I'm still learning. From last year, I'm not the leader that I was last year. Different situation and all, but I'm still not the same leader. We even have people here that helped me, from Coach Riley to TK. TK's been huge for me, kind of giving me tools for myself, and also tools for the team. And so with those tools, I'm able to speak, and everybody kind of knows and understands You know, it might be a little quote that we use, or it might be a saying that we use, or this and that. Like in most of my interviews now, you'll hear me say, "Win the moment," or habits, change your habits, or it's either you change your habits or change your dreams. And I know that we're not going to change our dreams, so we've been changing a lot of habits. Is what I said. So it just gives you another playbook. It's basically like a leadership playbook, and it's been awesome. I've been learning mentally. From ball wise to learning myself some more, to even learning every single one of these teammates, one of my teammates, and how to lead them.
Yeah, I love that. I think sometimes quarterbacks in this era, especially now with transferring and NIL and all those things, it's like they got it all figured out.
Yeah.
And I love that you're saying I'm adding tools
Yep.
to me as a leader. What is Lincoln like for you as a tool as you guys go back and forth here?
Lincoln's awesome. He's a unique, like, you think of offense coordinator, head coach, like they're always gonna just like dig into you or anything like that. Like you mess up, he brings you over, and that was more my freshman year, as in like he'd bring me over, and now when I mess up, I go straight to him, and I hope that says a lot about him, is that I go straight to him as soon as I mess up on the football field or anything like that, or we talk a lot more. He's always there if you need him, and as a leader, that's one of the biggest things is being there. He's always there, and he's not always there. He's normally always on time and right, and that's awesome. That just shows how prepared he is. That just, I on the field, I want to be, because he can't be on the field, and I'm the QB, so I want to be Lincoln Part 2 on the field. Being in his head, kind of understanding what he wants, what he likes, versus this look or anything like that. When we're in the huddle on the field or anything like that, or when we're on the sideline, kind of encouraging, just being another one of those guys, trying to be another Lincoln. So it's awesome. He's awesome.
How did you learn everybody's name? And is that true?
That's my first thing I did.
Like, how'd you do that when you got here?
I get along with everybody.
Yeah. So this is the first thing you did?
That's the first thing I do at every place I go. So Oklahoma, it's like the biggest thing to me, is learning everybody's name, because they're gonna be my one of 100 brothers, and so I even try and learn like our ball boys' names, and so the two main guys that are with us right now is Alex and Ryan, and then all of my teammates. I try and learn everybody's name, because they're all going to be with us. Everybody's important. Everybody has their own job or own thing that they have to do, to make sure everything's running well. So those guys, they're my brothers, like I said. And you don't call your brother by another name or anything like that unless you're mad at him. But other than that, you call him by his name. It's your brother. You love him, anything like that. And his mother gave him that name, and you want to call him by that. Yeah.
I was a walk-on before I got put on scholarship, so my locker was like 106, like way in the deep corner at Pitt where I played. Yeah. And our quarterback was like that. And I just feel like one of the strongest leadership traits on planet Earth is to feel seen and heard. Yeah. And can you allow other people to feel seen and heard? And by doing that, I think it's amazing, man. I loved when I read that about you. I want to ask about going to class. Yeah. Because like you still do that. Yeah. What's it like for you going to class here? Do you feel like you're just another student? Do you feel a different type of treatment? What's it like? No, I feel like another student. I walk to class, and every once in a while I get a hey Caleb or a couple eyes kind of just watch me. But like you said, when you're at SC and you're QB, it's a little different. But other than that, I get treated like a regular student. I say hey to people. I hold doors. They hold doors for me. They say hello to me. We have movie stars on this campus, so I'm nothing to them. So. Dude, I just flash back, and Katie Ryan will remember these days, who's running all media here now. When Matt and Reggie were here, they had like security guards taking them to class.
Yeah,
like, I don't have
security guards.
No security guards. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Okay, last, I'm calling this the final 5 here before we get you out of here. The best advice you've ever received is what?
Best advice I've ever received. Change your habits, change your dreams.
Change your habits, change your dreams. Worst advice you ever received?
It's okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Extension of the staff or an extension of the huddle?
Extension of the huddle.
Tom Brady said that
Yeah.
about 5-6 years ago. He said everybody always thinks the quarterback is an extension of the staff, but it's the other way.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised you said that. The title of this show is The It Factory. We dive into what everyone's it factor is. How would you describe yours if you had to?
My it factor. I would describe it as when the lights are on, I'm shining the most. I want to kill everything in front of me. Yeah.
Amen to that. And then finish this sentence for me, okay? Among all your experiences, right, from 10 years old, redoing that list, putting West Coast schools on it, to painting your nails and creating Caleb Cares, to saying what you just said around how you want to go kill it, whatever's in front of you. It all comes down to what for you?
It all comes down to winning. I like to win. And that doesn't mean a football game. That means the moments in life. If I could win more moments in life, I can't see anything stopping me.
Yeah. You know Dr. Michael Gervais, the sports psychologist?
Mm-hmm.
We were talking on the way over here, and he taught me this about 10, 15 years ago. He would say something like that of, like the game may seem really big, but it's just another moment.
Yeah.
Like the actual weight of space and time doesn't change. So just win the moment, win the moment, win the moment, and all of a sudden when the perceived moment is bigger, like it's just another one.
Yeah.
Dude.
Like when I get another Hail Mary shot, it's just another Hail Mary shot.
What was that like, dude?
Yeah,
Was
that was awesome.
Did you even know he caught it?
I did. So they were wearing actually blue and red gloves, and we were wearing all white gloves. And so I saw his white hands go above everybody and come straight down into him, and I just dropped to the ground. It was awesome.
Epic moment, man. We'll be having that in the truck, the TV truck, when we're calling your games. If it's ever late,
Yeah.
know that like a
That's
TV
gonna be
timeout,
awesome.
that's a replay. Like he's been there before, folks.
Got it.
Caleb, I want to thank you for the time. We didn't get to meet at the Elite 11 because of
Yep.
the pandemic, and my wife was late in her pregnancy. But everybody, when they met you, they said something about him, and it's not just his play, it's who he is, it's what his soul is, it's the DNA, it's his makeup. And I've seen you from afar, I've heard from so many people, but never really had time to sit down.
Yeah.
And I thank you for the time, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, and the advice to my 7-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean, the Caleb Cares book is coming up next.
Sweet.
I love it. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
All right, like Caleb Williams, I'm Yogi Roth. You can go to pac-12.com/insider for all of our episodes of The It Factor. Whatever you need, we got you. If you want to go back and look at some from season 1, they're there as well, or the first few of season 2. Really excited about where this season is going to go. And make sure you give us some feedback. Let us know, who do you want to hear from among your Pac-12 favorite teams? And check us out wherever you find podcasts, Apple, Spotify, you name it, we are there. Just put in The It Factory and Yogi Roth. We'll pop up, share it, send a review, whatever your heart desires. We got you. As always, thanks for coming. Thanks for your time. Peace.